Hello everyone, this is Mary Elizabeth with Sacred Love Tarot. Thank you so very much for turning up and tuning in. This is your daily zodiac collective tarot reading for the signs of Earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And this is for the week of August 22nd to August 29th. Thank you so very much again for turning up and tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification button, and share. Everything you do here is greatly appreciated and very important to help this channel grow. We are going to first tap into the energy of the Energy Oracle to see where we are with the energy of this week coming in or coming up. How does the energy of this coming week affect us as we grow, as we take a step back, as we release? All right, so we have hostilities and we have man holding heart, Lord knows. So this could be a week of commitment issues, relationship issues, hostilities revolving around both insecurities, unhappiness, uncertainties, doubt, trials and tribulations revolves around relationship issues. Now, this could be someone trying to interfere in a relationship. This could be someone having doubts about a relationship. This could be someone just in trials and tribulations with family dynamics or relationships with the family, mom, dad, father, son, him, her, them, they, just relationships, partnerships in general. And we know that being in an unhappy situation when it has to do in our own home is never conducive to anyone's happiness or growth if it's coming from a hostile point of view or a hostile environment. There has to be some kind of balance. There has to be some sort of mutual understanding, a conversation, as opposed to yelling and screaming and carrying on. And there's this, everybody wants to be heard and everybody wants to be recognized and everybody wants to be seen and everybody's point of view wants to be taken seriously. But if you have one person yelling and screaming and then another, then nothing gets done. Nothing gets done. It's just a vicious cycle. So somewhere in there, we have to make sure that we are not putting ourselves in a situation that has the potential of being hostile, not putting ourselves in a situation that has the potential of being chaotic, not putting ourselves in a situation that has the potential of being demonstrative, someone making you feel guilty, someone making you feel insecure, someone making you feel doubtful. And sometimes people who are very hostile have a way of projecting that type of energy onto someone and making them feel like they're the problem. So be kind of careful and watch out for that too. Now we're getting into the Crow Tarot. So we'll see where that leads us. We have one card that immediately came out. There's another. And yet another. This was bumped out of the way as soon as the first card came down. It's interesting that we have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, these are all interesting. So the Nine of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Temperance card. So we know that in relationships it's very important to have balance, and that balance is very important to the transformation of the relationship and what that relationship is able to do for each other. If there isn't balance, and if there isn't mutual respect, and if there isn't mutual transformation, and what I mean by that is we all go through these periods of needing to work on ourselves. We all go through these periods of needing to heal. We all go through these periods of needing to release and let go and evolve. And if there's no evolution, if there's no transformation, if there's no balance, then the relationship will constantly be in this hostile mindset, or this hostile chaotic place, and that isn't conducive to anyone's happiness or growth. So there has to be compromises made. There has to be a transition or a transformation done if we see this relationship going into the future. And sometimes people, the only way that they know how to communicate is to be hostile, is to be very loud and boisterous, because they think that that brings the point across, when it doesn't really bring the point across. No one wants to be yelled at. No one wants to be screamed out. No one wants to be, no one wants their voices drowned out by someone who thinks that their point of view is more important than the other. So I feel like the best thing to do here is to kind of find yourself somewhere else until the environment is not so hostile and not so chaotic. So let's see what else we have. And as I said, this could be in a work environment. It could be in a partnership as well. And it's interesting that we have that hostile card, and we have that man holding heart card, and then all of the tarot cards are talking about transformation, abundance, prosperity, balance, celebration. But we also have a card here, and it almost feels like that there is a person who isn't recognizing or realizing what's going on here, right? So we're talking about transformation, we're talking about abundance, we're talking about new opportunities, we're talking about balance, we're talking about celebration, we're talking about growth, we're talking about passion. But then we have all of this hostility going on. So it almost makes me feel like that there's someone who is absolutely blinded by the chaos and the crazy that is going on, blinded by someone trying to manipulate and take advantage, blinded by love. It's very easy to be blinded by love. I've been blinded by love before, right? I've been blinded by that whole "I'll love you, death to us part" thing. And I refused to see, I focused on other things because I didn't want to focus on the reality of what was happening and what was going on. And it almost feels like that's what this is. And we focus on the balance and the abundance and the prosperity and the new ideas and the new money-making opportunities and the new messages that are coming in, and we're celebrating all of that. But what we don't see is the reality of the situation. What we don't see is the hostile environment and how don't you see the hostile environment? How don't you see? Well, we make excuses for it, and then we turn away from it, and we apologize for whatever it is that they're hostile about, that we didn't even have anything to do with. And then it all comes crashing down with the Seven of Swords. Whoever this hostile person is, just, you know, being deceptive, being deceitful, being jealous, being manipulative, and then exiting stage right. And then where does that leave you, right? So it's almost like someone is blindsided here. It's almost like they refuse to see the reality of what's happening and what's going on, due to the love that they feel. And it also feels that the love is a little bit one-sided as well. There may be balance on your part. You may be trying to do everything that you can to make this right, changing yourself, looking for a better living situation for the both of you, looking for a better place of employment where you get paid more, looking, you know, trying to find that balance, trying to bring happiness and everything to the household. But there's no appreciation here. There's no respect here. And there's only so much that you can do to try to make it work before the realization just pretty much comes down to, it's not happening. It's not happening. So let's see what the light spellcasters oracle has. One flew on the floor. Let me get that. So clarity, yeah. Remember what I talked about? There is a person who doesn't want to see the reality of. So it's about, I mean, sometimes you just gotta see the reality of what's going on. And because the longer you allow this to happen, you give permission for bad behavior. The longer you allow bad behavior to happen. So if it's, you know, you reaching out to friends, reaching out to family for help, reaching out to people who recognize and understand what you're going through. I mean, if you were to look at this reading, you would be, oh, everything is great. Look how wonderful everything is, right? But if you're in this particular situation, if you were to take a step back and look at the situation from a different perspective, and if a friend came to you and said, everything that is happening to you is happening to your friend, right? So all of this is this hostility and all of this making it seem like you're the crazy one or the chaotic one, and you're doing all of this stuff to change yourself and trying to bring happiness and abundance and balance into the situation, but they still leave. They're still hostile. They're still chaotic, right? You refuse to see the clarity of it. So if a friend came to you and said, I'm going through this particular situation, what would you say? What would you do? What would you recommend, right? Pay attention to your dreams. The answers could be there, right? So this is really, it's a double-edged sword here. A double-edged sword here, because we don't want to project or put upon us unhappiness and hurt and pain. We don't want that to be a part of our existence, right? And when our significant other or a loved one or a family member is going through that, we want to do everything that we can to make it a happy environment. But we can't be blind to the situation as a whole. We can't be blind to the chaos and the deceit and the anger that is coming from a person who has no desire to change, right? Who projects all of their anger onto everybody else and blames everybody else for their anger. We can't allow that bad behavior to happen. There has to be a stand. There has to be something that shows this person, listen, look, I love you, I care about you, but I can no longer be the person who you blame everything on. What you're going through here has nothing to do with me. This is all about you. And I can't be the one to take responsibility for that, because that is hurting me. That is causing me anxiety and pain and anger and hurt. And I have no way to release that because you continue to project that on me. So I have no way of releasing this, no way of letting this go, no way of healing myself without hurting you. And as strange as that sounds, sometimes that's the way it happens, right? So you try to heal yourself and try to be better, and because you're trying to heal yourself and be better, they accuse you of not caring as much as they do, and their way of caring is yelling and screaming and being hostile. So it's a vicious cycle. It's that wheel that continues to turn without any traction, right? Without going anywhere. So there has to be movement. There has to be change. But if no one is willing to make that, well, if the other person isn't willing to make that change, then what's that next step, right? What's that next step? One more card. One more card. And the card, and it's interesting that now we have the passion, right? And I've heard people say, I'm so passionate in love with you that it drives me crazy and it makes me angry and all of that. Well, that's not really passionate love, though. I mean, I was in a relationship where it was, I'm so passionately in love with you, and the 5 years we were together, it was physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. So that's not passionately in love with someone. That's the desire to control. That's the passion to control, to manipulate, to deceive, to hurt, to bring pain into somebody's life because you're confused and you're not happy, and not meaning the person who's causing it all. That has nothing to do with passion. It has nothing to do with love. It has to do with control, deception, manipulation. So it's time to see the clarity of what's going on here. And I wish you luck with that, because it's a very hard position to be in. So until next time, know that you're divinely guided and loved. Talk soon.